Yo, what's going on, guys? So I know it's been a while since I last uploaded. I've been really busy with school and work, but I just took my during video for the Pryme MX build challenge. You got the filthy CR125 cases, but you got the frame powder coated. That's by Blakely Powder Coating. Did a great job. Cool gray color. Spilled some oil on it somehow, but yeah. So today I'm going to be showing you how to get rid of the cast marks on these stock parts, because there's really no need for them and it looks a lot better without them. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, just so I'm clear with some stuff, a lot of people don't know that you can actually grind those off. They're just casting marks and they look a lot better without them. So but you'll need a couple things for this. Safety glasses so you don't get stuff in your eyes. I recommend a respirator because you can have metal shavings fly around and it's not good for your lungs. Obviously the parts that you are wanting to grind down. I got these off Pryme MX. These work pretty well. We're going to try some of those out. And I also have some some 3M grinding pads with a Husky die grinder. So obviously you also need an air compressor, and to finish it off you can either use a vapor blaster. I just got this thing, super happy about that, but you can also use a grinder with the Pryme MX pads again. That's just like a final finish, gets rid of all the marks that you leave on it. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing you want to do is clean up your parts. I don't even have the bearings out of these yet, so I'm going to be taking those out real quick off video, but then I'll get right back to cleaning them. Alright, so now that we have those bearings out, let's get in the light here. This piece is super dirty, so what I recommend is wiping this off, or if you have a degreasing tank, that would work great too. I'm going to be using my vapor blaster because that was expensive and I want to use it. You can also use the Pryme MX pads on the grinding wheel, like I said, but that's more for finishing after. You still want to get all the grease and dirt off of it in some way, that way you can get you can see those lines good. You don't want to end up going too far. So let's do that. Alright guys, so before I put those parts in the vapor blaster, I just wanted to show you guys it real quick. So it's the VH800 fully loaded from Vapor Hunting Technologies. Super cool machine. Doesn't show up on the back where all the electrical stuff is, but it's super complicated. A lot more than I thought was involved with these, but it's a pretty big cabinet for the size, and they have multiple different cabinets. You got bench tops, so even if this is out of your budget, which for a lot of people it is, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. I've already used it a ton on engine cases and all that stuff, but they have multiple different sizes, bench tops for just personal projects, you know, nothing too major spending wise. So you can do this yourself and not have to pay for parts getting vapor blasted all the time. So I highly recommend checking them out. I'm gonna make a full video on it. But let's get those parts in and get back to the video. Check out this difference. Camera doesn't even do the justice on how shiny this thing is. I mean, let's see. I mean, it is spotless clean. I mean, you could lick this. Obviously, I wouldn't do that, but Vapor Blaster does an amazing job at this. They look great. So now we have a very defined line of what we want to grind off and make it look good. So let's get to it. Alright, so after some experimenting with the Pryme MX little grinding things. They don't do very well for grinding stuff off. I think this is more polishing, so maybe we try that after we grind it off. So back to the Husky die grinder. Once again, I'm using 3M grinding discs, just fiber discs, and we need some more defined, smaller grinding things to get a perfect line. But this one won't fit. But I do have those smaller ones in the pack, so let's try it out. And once again, make sure, don't forget your respirator and your safety glasses. Alright, so check this out. I accidentally hit a little spot right here, but that shouldn't be a big deal because it barely went in. But this is pretty smooth now. Once again, that's just with the more aggressive 3M fiber disc. So now we're going to be using the red one, clean it up a little bit more once we do the other side. So we'll do that after, but it's the first step to making it look smooth. One other thing I recommend is I put a fan on because I don't have an air filtration unit in here yet. We're getting one soon, but to make it healthier air in here, even with the respirator, I'd still recommend getting the dust out because this stuff is super fine. It sends this floating in the air and you do not want to breathe that stuff in. So either keep your respirator on or have a fan blowing the air out and bring some new air in. So I actually decided I'm not going to do the inside of this because you don't even really see it, and the outside already looks pretty good. Well, not yet, but it will when we get to the finish. And I just don't think it'd be smart to try and grind that out because you risk damaging it more. So we're going to move into the other parts. Alright, so now that this is all grinded down, what you're going to need next is one of the heavy-duty Pryme MX wheels here. It's just a reinforced Scotch-Brite pad, basically. What that's going to do is help finish out this look, and you know, it's really hard to get it perfectly even with the grinder. So this is just rough enough. You don't really rip apart much material. You more just smooth out. So I'll show you how to do it though. Alright, so now we got these all ground down. Just either refurbished this piece. This one actually turned out really well. Really like that, nice and smooth edges now. But so now I'm throwing it in the big blaster. I'm not liking the finish of the sleeves. I'm just not a huge fan of the shiny finish, so I'm gonna toss it in the vapor blaster and we'll see how these turn out. It should look pretty cool. Alright guys, so here's the result of the grinding. So this piece turned out pretty good. It's a lot more smooth and I think looks a lot more professional and cleaner. I didn't do the inside like I said just because I don't want to risk hitting that stuff and you can't even really see it. So yeah, that turned out pretty cool. My grinder stopped working because my air compressor over there makes a lot of water. I don't have a filter in here yet. So that clogged up my grinder and stopped working. But so I would have done more on this one, and probably a little more on this one, especially right in here, before it stopped working. But you can only do so much. So this piece turned out super cool. I really like it. Had some marks from before. I did not cause those, but I think it looks really nice. And you can still see a little bit of grinding. Like I said, the grinder stopped working, and I'm not the best grinder. I mean, if you're like a welder, you should be able to do this no problem, or if you're just way better at grinding than I am. But I just didn't want to go too far. But I still think you'll only really see it if you're looking for it or if you're up close. So, but I highly recommend the Vapor Blaster, or at least check out their website, see what they have for options. They have the bench top, not very expensive. You should be able to get that or save up for it, and it's super useful for when you're doing this kind of stuff or bearings or whatever. I mean, I hate working on greasy, oily parts, and the Vapor Blaster is that solution for there. Especially since the Pryme MX pads can't reach in these tight little spots like inside of that, right in here. So that does it no problem. So thanks for watching, and send me some pictures of your results.